What's the best example of men not understanding a woman's body that you've ever heard? I knew a guy who thought that girls could control when they started their periods, like, he thought they needed to have them monthly but that they could start them at specific times as was convenient. Sometimes I don't know what the hell is going on in people's heads. Also knew a guy who thought girls always found sex painful, and that guys shouldn't stop just BC they say it hurts BC it always hurts for them. That was honestly kinda scary. That women always lactate, some more than others. This is why bras have different levels of padding to them to soak up the excess milk. You know, in case you didn't currently have a baby to feed it to. This logic was courtesy of an ex-boyfriend who was brave enough to ask what I did with my milk as I obviously did not have kids. I told him it was being made into artisan cheese for the Saturday farmers market at the park in downtown. My professor not letting women go to the bathroom if they're on the period. It is infuriating. Knew a guy who genuinely believed women having orgasms were a myth or disorder because only male orgasms do anything, so a female having an orgasm is pointless. Good friend, conservative Catholic Portuguese family, only ever had one girlfriend, at this time. In the university gym, good-looking young lady is on one of those machines where you sit with a pad on the inside of each thigh, spread your thighs then bring them in again against the weight. Maybe you can picture it. Anyway, friend observes this, nudges me and says I love watching them work out their clits. I've had to explain to men that lubrication and urine aren't the same thing. I've also had to explain to these same men that menstruation and urination don't come from the same orifice. These same men have never gone down on a woman because that's just gross, she pees out of that hole, but expect blowjobs while their girlfriend is on her period. I am a straight man. I am so sorry for a lot of women. Once had a man tell me that I wasn't a virgin because I used tampons. My ex-boyfriend told me he wanted to lick my aorta during phone sex. He was referencing my breasts. Edit, yes, specifically he meant areola LMAO. Edit number 2, aorta was not a typo. That's literally what he said, lol. When I tried to correct it, I meant he was referring to the areola and not just the breasts. Someone on Twitter complained about a censorship made on a female character from Tokyo Mirage Session, a game, and he said, not only did they remove her cleavage, but they also removed her vagina bones. Ever since this was tweeted in 2016, everyone has been laughing at him, even today. Many years ago I dated a guy who thought women's periods came on the first of the month like rent. OMG, thanks so much for the awards. Recently saw a TikTok comment from a guy saying women can only get pregnant on their periods. I'll never forget in high school a teacher overheard one kid telling another that there are 2 holes in a pussy and he always uses the other one cause it's so much tighter, and she laughed and explained that if he can get his penis in a girl's urethra then it must be smaller and skinnier than a toothpick. Edit, welp, I did not give the internet enough credit. While I'm quite sure the kid in question was telling bragging tales, just talking shit, I now, very much, understand this is apparently an actual thing also. No, there isn't just one hole that the milk comes out of the nipple. There's many areas where the milk comes out for breastfeeding. It's not a hose, more like a shower head. The absolute total insistence of this guy from college, who fully believed and argued with dozens of women publicly that having a dick or a dildo long enough to hit a woman's cervix is the only way to make a woman cum. A woman training to be an OBGYN pointed out that many women actually are in a good amount of pain from pap smears which contacts the cervix, and it's usually sensitive for a couple days after because it's the exact opposite of pleasurable. Nope, he said she doesn't know what she's talking about. A year later he couldn't figure out why no one would date him. The one where the guy thought virgins don't have vaginas, it's his responsibility as her first sexual partner to make the hole. What is something you're willing to admit only to a community of total strangers on the internet? I'm desperately lonely. I live alone and work remotely, and I have for over a year. I miss human interactions. Sounds. Conversations. Sometimes I go days without saying a word. When I go to the store I'm hoping someone sees just how lonely I am. I'm mentally willing every stranger who passes to hug me. It's so pathetic. It's hard to even write this here. Edit/update, whoa, I was not expecting this post where I vented my frustrations to blow up the way that it did. I am so incredibly grateful to everyone who has taken time out of their days to write a kind comment or reach out to me privately in my DMs. I have gotten dozens of people telling me their stories, and how they feel alone or have felt alone in their lives. This entire experience has taught me just how not alone I or anyone else feeling similarly, m/r. I am sorry to anyone whose message I've missed. I am slowly going through my inbox and notifications, but I've had so many people reach out. It may take me a bit of time to respond, but I will get to your messages for sure. I've also read all the comments left on this post. Thanks again to everyone who reached out to share encouraging words. My wife has breast cancer. I have to remain positive and upbeat, for her sake, she's going through enough. The chemotherapy is going really well, and the surgeon and oncologist both tell us that the prognosis is good, but sometimes in the middle of the night I wake up absolutely terrified, and can't breathe until I hear her move. Intellectually, I know that things will almost certainly be all right. We have great medical care, in a first world country, and the cancerous mass has now shrunk so much it would be near undetectable if we didn't know where it was. But deep down in my monkey brain I am a gibbering simian wanting to lash out at the world. I wish I wasn't my divorced parents' counselor. I'm their oldest. They love to let me know just how shitty one another is, just trying to lower the opinion of the other. I'm just tired of it. Edit, this post reached 1K upvotes, which is way more than I've ever had on any post. Thanks to all of you who reached out and left advice for me. I spoke with my parents, and it feels like a huge weight has been lifted off of my chest. Thank you all again. That I'm actually really lonely and that I don't know how to reach out to people. I always feel this odd sense of detachment. And I feel like I have no motivation because I'll never succeed at my goals. I feel like all I do is disappoint or get in people's nerves. I knows it's primarily a self-esteem/anxiety issue, but it sucks sometimes. It was I who clogged the loading dock toilet at work last weekend. I shat my pants at a concert from a fart. I ended up driving home, showering, changing, then ended up getting back to the concert just as it ended to drive friends back home. When they asked where I was, I just told them I lost them in the crowd and that the concert was awesome. Thankfully I didn't fart in the car on the way home. Edit, glad to hear so many other underwear heartwarming shart stories from everyone else. Keep them coming. Edit 2, for those wondering what band it was, I actually don't remember. I didn't know who they were, I just tagged along at the last minute. It was also 12 years ago. Just how insecure I am about myself and how much I care about what others think of me. Edit, thank you for all the support. The funny part is how a lot of the great advice I get here is advice I have given other insecure people before. Somehow it is just so much harder to apply such things to oneself even when we see it in others. I work in mental health. I'm no better than my patients are. Ada, I'm not ashamed of it. Everyone struggles. I just worry I'm helping in the best way when some nights I'm barely keeping it together. Edit 2, thank you all for the kind words and awards, it has been very healing to read that I'm not alone or judged for this. For context, I work in a psych hospital. I love my job, and it's hard. Details about all of my life, as an old woman now. The childhood sexual and physical abuse, suicide and murder in my family, my drug addictions, the things I did to fund them, mental health problems throughout my life, domestic violence throughout my 18-year marriage and having to find the courage to leave it. Finding strength. Excelling at work. Having experienced some wonderful loves. Now it's my terminal illness and disability and pain. I will never meet or converse with the people I share bits with, but doing it is twofold. I'm still alive, no matter how horrendous life is, it is always possible to change either it or yourself. Life can still have very beautiful moments or seasons, even in dark times. Nobody owes you anything. You don't owe anybody anything. Don't quit because of how somebody else sees or treats you. My end is as bloody hard as the rest of my time on this planet. My second reason is purely selfish. I want to put my small thoughts out there, to see some anonymous words on a site that will be forgotten by tomorrow by those that take the time to read them. A bonus is maybe I can offer a little hope, confidence, or drive to those that have none. That's it. That my friends from high school are still the closest thing I have to friends, even though we talk maximum once or twice a year and they've all moved on by now. I'm not happy. I just pretend to be because it's easier and there's no guilt. I was the family wonder child who turned into the family disappointment. I am genuinely happy and content with my life. I don't tell people often because at this point in time that honestly feels like a brag. My husband died of lung cancer 9 months ago. He battled very hard and survived for 16 months after being told he had 6. I was so proud of him, he was my rock and my true love. But, I am not as sad as people assume I should be. A song comes on the radio that he would sing to me, and I will pull over and cry, but I've read other people's accounts, who have lost their partner around the same time as I did and they are crying every day still. I never did that, and to be honest, I feel content in my life. I am not ready to start dating again. I talk about him like he is still here with me. One of my clients who I see twice a week didn't know for about 6 months what had happened, for example. I feel guilty and proud that I am not destroyed by losing my husband, but, fuck, I wish he were here with me. Edited to add, someone took this comment and made a TikTok out of it. I only saw it because my kids know my Reddit username and showed it to me. So thank you for that. What are the dangers of being very attractive/beautiful? You get a lot more attention than you probably want, lots of staring and sometimes people following you. Tension within your own gender as you're seen as competition. I am not very attractive or beautiful because there are more good-looking ladies out there, but I attract lots of creepy people. When I was a teenager, my older sister told me that I am a pedophile magnet and I cried a lot. Edit to add. Thank you to those who expressed their concerns, and shared their experience. I love my sister and I always look up to her. She told me those words maybe because she got tired at one point, but she never stopped caring. I love her so much. I always go to her instead of my parents whenever I encounter creeps. I am 25 years old now, moved to another country, but nothing much has changed. I am 5 feet tall, weighs 45 kilograms, and have a baby face. Not curvy, too. So most people still think I am a child or a teen. They always thought I am around 15 to 18. The disgusting thing is, if people who don't know me thinks I am a teen, then why some of them are still trying to get my number, touch me on bus/train, harass me online, etc. I am more angry than scared now. Some people really are disgusting. P.S. English is my second language. I have more to add but don't know how to express it. My heart goes to all the victims of abuse. You can't pick your nose in public anymore with all the people staring at your attractive/beautiful face. Friendships falling apart when their partner is attracted to you. When people who are your friends take every chance they can to criticize your appearance or anything else, whatever little crumb of shade they can use to humble you. Unwanted attention, objectification, people assume you're unintelligent. If you become unattractive for any reason, you may find it difficult to reconcile that you are no longer attractive. Examples: car wreck, injury, aging, disease, becoming obese. I'm sure there are more. If you're used to being attractive and you identify as such, consciously or subconsciously, it can be really hard to come to terms with a change in that. People think you are flirting if you are being anything other than nasty to them. Then if you are nasty, you are a bitch/asshole. No in between. Not knowing if you are actually funny, or well-spoken, or talented, or charismatic. Being tasked with killing the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Regardless of gender, I think some people would get obsessed with you to the point they'll harm other people to just get your attention. People will often mistake friendliness for flirting. Men assume you get hit on all the time, so they play it cool by being mean, which just makes it seem like most men are mean. I'm not very beautiful probably, as I am older now, 46. But I am a Japanese woman in the UK and a lot of people seem to maybe fetishize this. I have no idea why and it irks me a little. I hate that I sometimes am not taken seriously, or just seen as an unintelligent airhead. In Japan I suppose I was considered beautiful when I was younger, not now. I am old and ugly, and there was an expectation often voiced of why even bother with uni, because you are pretty enough for a very rich husband and can become a trophy wife. This made me mad and is one part of the reason why I leave to live in the UK. Also so much groping, but this affects many young women in Japan, unfortunately. And accusations always of flirting. And feeling that you may be arrogant. For example, to even complete this answer. But I don't personally feel beautiful, I just have been told this by others many times in my youth. But yes, I add this presumption that you're arrogant or vain also. I am glad to no longer be beautiful, but just average looking/ugly. ETA sometimes women think you are going to steal their husband, when you have zero interest in this. Some overweight 12-year-old kid using your picture as his profile and claiming to be you.